I specifically would like to address two of the quotes that I included into the rest of the video series, which is all about, this video series that it's titled Global Warming and Solar Flares Energy, Polarity and Paradigm Shift, and the 3 days of darkness. Talking about these topics is really, really tricky, because we got used to labels used through and expressed through words, and words as buzzwords, not just on social media, but in everyday life, and how we look at life, how we got used to look at life, how we been conditioned to look at life, ourselves and others, and overall the whole world. It requires us to challenge all vocabulary that we so far identified with all sorts of things, all kinds of things, at a level of consciousness and a level of identification. And these two quotes are really, really deep telling. You literally need to take your time in order to truly, truly being absorbed within these words, because these are worlds beyond the world that you so far lived in, got used to, known as. And it's revealing a part not just of you, of the world, and new perspectives that are identified and recognized or acknowledged first by the ego self. You cannot help but have this first reaction. First is the reaction, because the reaction is louder and it's more evident. And the respond is slower, it's more from the background, stays at the background, and it's more of a neutral, relating to all that is being experienced, observed, and being observed into your whole being. Because as soon as you are experiencing, you are not just observing, but you are being observed into that whole experience due to your basic five, as well as for more ascended beings on earth, beyond five senses used, and experiencing through those, experiencing the whole world and all of our experiences, all of our beingness and doingness, and all of these activities in the world, in our world, in the inner world and the outer world. So everything is symbolism in the illusion realm, which is the 3D limited level of consciousness. Because there is all dimensional realms has two aspects of it, almost said primordial aspects of it, which is true. One is the feminine and one is the masculine, one is the yin and one is the yang. And one is the dark and one is the light. Therefore, one is the lower vibrational aspect and one is the higher vibrational aspect. It's not good or bad or wrong or right. It is just what is. And you find lots of symbolism, coding, spelling through sacred scriptures and all kinds of writings, even all kinds of audio recordings, especially today when we are talking about the latest times, modern times. We have a lot of spelling, we have a lot of coding, and we have a lot of wording going on in this modern life as well. Much more than it was back then when the Bible was written, for example. And that is the point. So all of this due to our multiply layers of our ability and capabilities to understand and code, aka interpret our experiences and all of that which is unfolding for us in our world, inside and outside of us, is collectively better called as or labeled as symbolism. Symbolism because you are able to understand everything at the level of consciousness that you are reside in any given moment in your life. And that is the original meaning that you cannot control but to link to that which is being given or provided for you or unfolding within your experience. Hence, any of my messages only going to be understood by you at the level of consciousness that you are operating at this very moment in time. And therefore, these are symbolisms, all of that we in the illusion realm at any given moment and any given time, no matter what, experiencing, are at the mercy of your own interpretation and identifications. So it's really crucial to know this, to be aware of this fact, and listen to any any and all messages, especially when you are on my channel and you are engaging with my messages, that you understand this very important principality, because this is a principality which is determining how life is going to feel, how life is going to translate and being interpreted for you, uniquely, individually, specifically for you. Not for me, who is only the messenger, not for me, but for you. So anything that you understand from any of my messages are only related to you. Just only you. This is a fact. This is a universal principality and understanding, and this must be embraced in order to grow within our consciousness, aka grow and improve and become more peaceful and happier in our lives overall, and in relation with oneself and in relation to anybody else in the outside world. So this is a mini disclaimer. When I use the biblical quote, Revelation 6:12, and I beheld when he opened the sixth seals, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And I want to go back just for a little moment to this other quote for Plato. We can forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when man is afraid of the light. So these are the things indeed that I'm talking about. And basically these two quotations and quotes actually are urging us and encouraging us to basically leave behind everything that doesn't serve us anymore. Because the more darkness and unknown or not knowingness you are rigidly sticking to and hanging on to without having the ultimate need, and answering the calling that is within you constantly whenever you go through any fearful, any painful, any suffering experience. The original invitation and the original signaling of these experiences are basically the need and the calling from your soul, which is you are at your core. The soul, which is you are at the core of your being, calls upon the human experiencing being, that version of you, that aspect of you, to embrace all of that darkness in order to not dwelling in it and go deeper into the dwelling experience, but instead unlocking and releasing the light which desperately wants to be unlocked and set free. And you need to, in order to this to happen, you need to actually face that darkness and be neutral about it. Facing the darkness and being neutral about it, that means we are unconditionally accepting it, unconditionally starting to loving it, nurturing it, because this nurturing process literally helps you to heal whatever darkness wants to become lightness. Darkness is heaviness, is something that you don't know what is all about, so therefore you fear it. But instead of the urge to project outside of yourself and onto others on a constant looping mechanism, the fear makes us to disown anything about us, that which needs to be addressed truly and transform within ourselves, and to become inevitably the light, because the light is the only thing that can disseminate and dissolve any and all darkness within us. And we need to do this within us, because if we don't do it within us, we are stuck and feel stuck in this endless loop of constant self-preserving, self-protecting, and survival mechanisms of disowning that darkness and therefore automatically projecting it outside of ourselves, disabling ourselves and others in this process of becoming something better, greater, more balanced, healed, and peaceful, joyful, loving, nurturing, encouraging, successful, and all others, all other nice feeling emotions and identifications of self and about self, or about the world and about others. Enjoy the rest of the message with this knowing, with this knowledge already within you. Turmoil. The tornado is like life is spinning around, and you feel confused maybe, and you're gonna go through a really, really potentially gonna go through a really confusing and big turmoil. I mean, we are talking about us, humanity, right? I'm not predicting anything. Please understand that I'm not predicting anything. You don't need to listen to this message. You're not required. You're not killed or murdered if you're not listening to this message. Okay? This is really important to note. That you are not forced in any way, shape, or form to listen to this message if you are sensitive to it or you're being triggered by it or whatever else you feel about it that you don't like. Okay? This is the opportunity to go somewhere and pick flowers on the middle instead. Okay? I mean it. But I need to just give out this message, and that's all that I'm doing. That's all that my job is, to complete this message. Okay, and I will. So going forward, because I had to ask questions while I was taking notes, and I did, and I received 2 cards that it's going to be a 10 of Swords experience, obviously, which I was previously explained. And there will be the Queen of Wands, obviously, which I was already referring to. You know, the Queen of Wands, as we described it, according to Goddess Durga qualities, energetics, you know, divine qualities, her blessings will be showered on us once we practice her teaching. This is also really important. So again, what are the main qualities and energetics that Goddess Durga is the representation of? Righteousness, happiness, courage, character, detachment, passion, discrimination, loyalty and love, and forgiveness and blessings, right? And courage. That's what is Goddess Durga all about, and her energy. So, and the 10 of Swords, we know what the 10 of Swords means. The 10 of Swords means something is abruptly ending. It's a really harsh, really assertive, really raw ending. Whatever you couldn't manage to do by yourself, you know, in your life, you didn't address it, you didn't take care of it, you didn't learn from something, you didn't change it, you didn't transform it. Anything that belongs to the old paradigm, whatever is that, systems, structures, belief systems, behavior patterns, personality traits, characteristics, belief systems I already said, deeds, relationship, any aspect of self and any aspect of your life. Okay, now I'm giving you the message ahead so you can get ready, take a little bit of your time, and, you know, meditate further on your life. What is screaming for balance? What is going on in my life or in myself, in my experience of self and my whole world and the outside world, and other people, my relationships, this and that and whatnot, that requires and asks, if not screams, for balance or rectifying or correcting or healing or balancing or aligning back to harmony. Yes, this is what we are talking about. And that's why we are talking about these things. We are not talking about these things to create horror movies and tragic stories about life. We are not here to do that. Absolutely not. We are talking about all of these to make things right, to realize that, to raise awareness to what is, and to bring things back to harmony. That's what we all do. That's the only thing that we are doing. Yes? So moving further. North Atlantic current has changed, says in the movie. And they literally officially declared they were on the verge of a major climate shift. Yeah, polarity shifting, that's what it is. When the final sand is ready to flow through, right? When all we on the mental, spiritual, and emotional level and realms, we rectified all of the old paradigm karma. We've moved through that and rebalanced it and restored it into inner harmony within ourselves. Then the polarity shift happens. It basically also requires, it's not just enough for one person to do this, but everyone, a huge collective, a majority of the collective has to do that in order to this polarity shift truly happen. It's going to happen, definitely is happening already. So, but it's just that needs to be, the polarity shift is happening because it's being triggered to be happening. Okay?